My name is Dr. Neil Hopkin. I was born in Nottingham in the UK, and my father was a physicist, and so I grew up with a passion and an interest in maths and physics. And uh, my first job was as a microelectronics engineer. I'd always had a love of gadgets, and I think that just spilled over into my adult life. But really, my passion was in the arts, and in particular philosophy within that. And so soon I found myself retraining. I took an arts degree and trained to be a teacher. And after that followed a master's degree in education and then a PhD, which looked at neurophilosophy and children's theory of mind. And so I found really that I, in adult life, developed this long academic interest and passion, which was around how children learn and what we can do as teachers and leaders of schools and colleges to better support children's learning so that they're ready for all that their life will have to throw at them in the future. I think that my academic progress in life varied. I think it probably does for everybody, and maybe particularly for boys. Um, but I always had a passion for talking and always had a passion for reading. And so that really acted as the bedrock for all of my academic success later in life. But as much as I loved reading and loved to have my head in a book and to be wrestling with an idea and a concept, what I found was that I was also actually a very keen sports person. And so I was fortunate, had very supportive parents and was able to attend lots of extracurricular sporting activities. And so soon represented my local county at tennis and athletics and rugby and a variety of sports. And that sort of athletic and sporting interest spilled over into my own personal sense of what's important, both feeding the mind and the body. Eventually, I specialised, as probably most sports people do, and the sport that I honed in on was karate. I got my black belt at 15. I was the UK's youngest third degree black belt by the age of 31. I represented England and Britain internationally many times with varying amounts of success, and I still train in karate today, although with many more creaking bones and a lot less energy than I had 20 or 30 years ago. I think I've always been involved in learning, whether it was through instructing a karate class or helping to train people that were fixing digital readers for the Royal National Institute for the Blind. I've always found myself teaching. And so as I matured, it became clear to me that that was something that I should pursue professionally. And that's what I did in my career. However, those values that I had of understanding the centrality of the whole child, the academic, the sporting, the creative, the artistic, are really come to a focus within schools. I think that the very best education, of course, should have first-class academic standards. And that's something in my schools that we have driven for relentlessly. And I often use the phrase of being restless in the pursuit of excellence. And we absolutely must be that. But excellence is very broad. And I think if we're to provide a truly excellent education for children, then it has to include sports and the arts and technology and global citizenship and an ability to apply skills in a variety of contexts and to do so under various circumstances. And I think having those sorts of beliefs meant that eventually I was destined to become a head teacher because it's in those ways that you're able to influence the direction of school to make that provision. And certainly that's what I've done in the schools that I've led. Dovercourt School is the sixth school that I will have led, I was designated a National Leader of Education in 2009 by the Department for Education in the UK for having led two outstanding schools, one in Manchester and one in Birmingham. And that's meant that I've worked with hundreds of schools, their school leaders and teachers over the years, helping to improve outcomes for students and pupils. And what I find invariably, of course, is when working with groups that one learns a great deal. And it's very much a two-way street of benefit, I think, for everybody involved. But I've also been very fortunate in having wider opportunities to engage within education. So I've worked with the Cambridge Primary Review as part of their steering committee, disseminating the research findings of the largest piece of research that's been conducted in the UK into education in the last 40 years. I was director and trustee of the Specialist School and Academies Trust, a group which represented 5,000 secondary schools across the country and indeed internationally. I've also worked as an external examiner for two British universities, Plymouth University and Warwick University, on their master's degrees. I led a master's degree whilst I was a head teacher for Warwick University, and I've been an honorary visiting lecturer for many years at Manchester University and Birmingham University and Warwick. So in my career, I've been very fortunate to have very wide-ranging experience, both working with adults and young people, always focused on that restless pursuit of excellence. That's what all of us are focused for, to make sure that we're preparing young people for a future that they can seize with both hands and take hold of every opportunity that presents itself to them. I really am looking forward to coming to Singapore. I've been very fortunate. I've travelled widely throughout Southeast Asia for most of my adult life, and Singapore has always had a special place in my heart. Professionally, Singapore was also very interesting, of course, because it's right at the top tier of international education. Interestingly, when I've been leading schools here in the UK, we've had a number of visitors from Singapore that have come specifically to look at how we're empowering creativity and pupil engagement in the very successful schools that I've run. And so I recognise that there's a great wealth of experience here in Singapore around excellent academic education, and yet there's still a yearning within the country to better understand how we might empower that creative sense that children require. It's not enough just to have academic excellence. People have to be able to apply that excellence in their workplace. And so I'm really looking forward to coming to Singapore and bringing what I know about that to the country and to be able to share that with students and parents here at Dovercourt International School. Dovercourt International School is a brilliant school to join, whether you're a child, a young adult, or a member of staff. It offers a wonderful, nurturing environment alongside fantastic academic challenge and support. But one of the most wonderful things about Dovercourt International School is that there's still more to come. There's great potential within the school to do things even better. And of course, in every school, that's what we always want to do, to keep progressing and making sure that we are improving upon our practice. And so there are wonderful opportunities here for us to expand the offer that we're able to make to pupils and students and their families in terms of extracurricular activities, sporting activities, use of technology, the arts, music, language, and so on. A great deal can be done there, along with a huge drive around the secondary school here and what we're able to offer students as they come into years 5 and 6 and then move forward into the secondary phase of their schooling. So I'm very excited to be joining the school. As are my family. I'm married to Catherine, and we have a 7-year-old son, Benjamin, who celebrated his 7th birthday out here recently when we were visiting the school in October. And so we're all looking as a family to come here. And I think one of the testimonies of what a principal of a school believes is if their own child then attends that school. Benjamin will be joining year 2 in January, and he's looking forward to that very much. And I suppose as a father, my commitment is to design the very best of fantastic international schooling for my son. And of course, that extends to every child that's here at Dovercourt International School. So I think I'm certainly incentivized to make sure that I fulfill my role to make sure that this is the leading school in Singapore. But also, I know that with Dr. Roach, I have a fantastic partner there in embracing everything that Dovercourt International School has achieved and a wonderful integrity that it has for inclusive education here, and making sure that we continue that going forward. And what we do is augment and enhance that through improving the mainstream provision as well, so that we have a school really that is unrivaled in Singapore, but also one would like to think in the world. I'm certainly looking forward to that and working with Dr. Roach and the rest of the team here to make sure that we really do see a fantastic future for Dovercourt International School.